Hi friends, welcome to Tutorials Point. In this video, we will be understanding quality management and in that 8D, that is nothing but problem solving process. These are all the various steps that we would be understanding, a need for the problem solving process and the systematic process of how exactly we get out of a problem. We need to be very clear with respect to the purpose or understanding of that, why exactly we need that. So whatever we may do with the perfect levels, but at some point of time, because of some change or some unanticipated information or something like that, we may end up with complaints or problems. So now it makes a lot of sense to have a procedure to have in place to get out of this particular problem as early as possible. The first step is to define a team for the problem solving, where we need to have expertise in various functions. Like if the problem is something to do with the manufacturing, then of course we need to have the manufacturing person and also the production person, logistics person, design, process design persons, quality, and all this put together. It makes a better cross-functional team for the problem solving process in future. Then we need to define the problem, and in defining the problem we need to answer certain questions like what is this all about, where all is this affected, which are all the process, and who was doing the operation, who was responsible for the non-detection of this particular thing. So all these things we need to answer, and how much is it the severity or how much is it really occurring. When we answer all these things, then we very much clearly define the context. So in future, to understand the content in the D4 step, it would be extremely easy for us. Then we need to understand the containment. So whenever a complaint happens, the customer suffers, and we need to take all the actions within our scope and control to safeguard that particular problem, whatever the customer is going to be facing. So we need to do all the things that is in our side so that we have to protect the customer as early as possible. Then we talk about the D4 step, that is nothing but the root cause step. So whenever we are addressing any particular problem, we have to not only address the symptoms, but we need to really go until the root. So when we go to the root cause and then understand that, and we take a corrective action on this particular thing, then it makes a lot of sense that we are not only addressing the symptoms, but we are also addressing the problem and also the root cause. In the D5 step, we would be having a planning of the corrective actions which we are planning to do it, out of which certain corrective actions will be feasible and certain things will not be feasible from the effectiveness point of view and also from the cost point of view. So then we have to take from both the things put together, and whatever that is really needed in our process, we need to have those corrective actions, and that particular selection of the all corrective actions will act as a D6 step. Once this corrective action is done, we need to share this information to all the other processes which is having a similar failure mode or the different plants or different locations like that, and we need to also update the quality management system records like FMEA, control plan, work instructions, procedures, these kind of things. So when we do all these things, that constitutes the step called as D7. Finally, we go into D8, that is nothing but an appreciation from management side, and it is also a closure of the problem step, where we give information to the customer, and then from customer we are expecting a feedback on the problem or the complaint which he raised, and he has to tell whether it was completely okay or not from the problem resolution point of view. And if the feedback is positive, then we are going to close this particular problem or the complaint with all the mechanisms in place, and we need to also document this for our future references. So in conclusion, we understood the need for a problem solving process, and we also understood the systematically, step by step, what are all the things that are required in a problem solving process to prevent these kind of recurrence of the problems that whatever that we are facing. That's all in the video. Thank you so much.